Hi guys, happy Friday. It's time to get real. It's Friday again already, you guys. Kind of unbelievable to me how these weeks go by so fast. But all right, so today we are talking about having it all or doing it all. Can you have it all? Can you do it all? And this topic kind of goes with the L of real, that loving yourself. And it was prompted by a couple of responses that I got from some questions I asked. So the question I asked was, and this was when we first started our time together, was, what is it time for you to get real about? And what these responses were, one person said, I would love a talk on being enough. Not being everything to everyone, not feeling guilty for setting parameters in your life, and not always being the strength and superwoman to everyone. And then the other similar comment I received was, I would like to get real about learning how to live a life of balance and letting go of things when my plate gets too full. So to me, that kind of asks, like, I'm so busy, I've got all these things going on, all these people want all these things from me. I feel guilty saying no. How do I do it? How do I fit it all in? And so that's my question to you is, can you have it all? And I talked about this topic at a women's networking meeting several months ago. And I went around the room and I asked for a simple yes or no answer to that question. So no, don't, expand on your thoughts, just yes or no. Can you have it all? And it was pretty interesting that half of the responses were yes and half were no. And I think the reason is based on how you define having it all. How do you define having it all? So I think first and foremost, you have to decide what having it all or doing it all means to you. So I thought about that for me, and my definition is pretty simple. My definition of having it all: having all of everything every time. So to me, that's all. Like, can I have all of this all the time? And so examples of that: can I have a full-time job and be a stay-at-home mom? Can I have both of those? Can I eat whatever I want and still be healthy? And for me, whatever I want is like donuts, cupcakes, pastry, cake of any kind. So can I eat whatever I want and be healthy? Can I work all the time and play all the time? So those are just kind of some prompting questions as to give you some insight to my definition of having it all. So you have to first define that for you. So if my definition of having it all every time, or if my definition of having it all is having all of everything every time, then the answer to can I have it all for me would be no. No, I cannot have it all. I must make choices and I have to sacrifice something to get something else. And for me, that's okay. Okay, so I don't mind saying no sometimes. So the question is, how do we decide what to keep and what to give away? So you have to, I'm just giving you some questions for thought, and these are in the description of this video. First question, am I happy with my current life and the choices I have made? If not, what needs to change? Am I living a life that accords with my values and priorities? If not, what needs to change? Do I feel happy with what I'm doing at my life in this time? Do I feel happy with what I am doing at this time in my life? If not, what needs to change? Is my life meaningful and am I living with purpose? If not, what needs to change? Am I living free of inner conflict? If not, what needs to change? Are my energies being directed in the right places? If not, what needs to change? What are the rewards or consequences of my decision? And can I live with that? So I want you to read through those questions and take a minute and answer them for yourself. So for me, I think a big one is, am I living free of inner conflict? So I think for me, that's that little voice in your head. You can call it your subconscious or your conscience or the Holy Spirit, something that is talking to you in your head all the time. And if there's conflict with that, and it's constantly saying, you know what, you just don't have time for this. You legit don't have time for this. There are so many other more important things that you could be doing. And then there's that other voice that's like, yeah, but she really needs your help. If you have those conversations with yourself, to me, that implies inner conflict. And you might have to resolve that before you in particular, can live your real, purposeful, filled life. So, you have to set some boundaries, okay? If you've decided that your definition supports the fact that no, you cannot have it all, or you feel worn down or pulled in 16 different directions, or you never have any time for yourself, that me time, that so important me time that we talked about for personal growth, not for scrolling Facebook, for personal growth. If you legit don't have any of that time or those resources available, then it is time to set some boundaries in your life. It is time to possibly give something up. So how do you decide what that is? So after you answer those questions, then you need to, first of all, number one, define your top 3. What I mean by that, prioritize your daily goals. So you have a certain amount of time every day to get things done. So what are, in order of importance, the things that you need to do today? And then look at the top 3 and be sure that each day you're doing your top 3 biggest priorities. So, what might that be? So let's just say for me, my top 3 priorities on a daily basis, work out, go to work, and my kids are grown now. They would have been on my top 3 years ago, but for now, make time for personal growth. So those are my top 3 things. Work out, go to work, make time for personal growth. So that's on most days out of the week. My kids, if they need something from me right away and it's an emergency, I'll drop everything. So they're always at the top. However, I don't need to prioritize them over other things anymore because they're 18 and 19 and they are pretty self-sufficient and they're out kind of living their own lives. And so if you have small children that need you, maybe your kids might be in your top 3. Okay, so you have your top 3 priorities. Now, when you've defined that, each day, you need to say yes to following through with behaviors, actions, and tasks that move you towards that top 3. So for me, that would be I make sure I get my top 3 out of the way first thing in the morning. I work out and do my personal growth, my Miracle Morning routine that I started. I get those things are done typically by 6:30 a.m. So I'm up around 4:30, and those 2 of those top priorities are done by 6:30 a.m. And then if I have to work, I fit that in and I go to work. Top 3 priorities. Let's take a day like today, though. I did my personal growth. I got busy doing other things. I did not get my exercise in this morning. It is now 4:48. In the afternoon for me. I do not think I will be working out at all. So I did not fit that in. And that's okay. I mean, I'm not going to just beat myself up about it, but I know that if I don't get my top 3 things out of the way first, chances are they won't happen. So let's just say your top 3 things are taking one of your kids to a doctor appointment, exercise, and making sure that you go grocery shopping to get, healthy food for dinner. All right, so those are your top 3 things. And then your friend calls and is like, I'm just having such a bad day. You want to go out for, I really want ice cream. You want to like meet me and get ice cream, or meet me and get drinks, or go out to dinner, or, whatever. You haven't exercised yet. You still got to take your kid to the doctor appointment. And later on, you're on this, healthy eating kick. You don't really want to go to a restaurant and spend your money and be faced with making poor choices. So you don't really want to do that, because one of your top 3 things is eating a healthy meal for dinner. Say no to her. Say no to her. Say, you know what, Mary Jane, whoever, I can't go to dinner tonight, but if you want to get together for a walk this weekend, I'd be happy to do that. So you can offer an alternative, okay? But saying yes to her is not going to move you towards your top 3. It's not going to move you towards your goal. So define your top 3, say yes to following through with behaviors, actions, and tasks that move you towards your top 3, and say no to behaviors, actions, and tasks that move you away from your top 3. It is hard to say no. It is hard to no. It's hard to get that out of your mouth. And then it's even harder to understand that that's a complete sentence. So, you'd say, oh, no, I can't have dinner tonight, but I'm so sorry. I've got but I got to take the dog to the vet, or whatever. And you just lie and you make up some thing. Don't do that. It's okay to say no sometimes. You know what? I would love to have dinner with you. I just can't tonight. How about a walk another time? So offer the alternative if that makes you feel better. But don't feel guilty about staying your course, about walking your path, about moving in the best direction for you. You don't have to be rude about it. You're offering her an alternative, and you're still getting done what you need to do. So I think as you move through those questions we talked about earlier, you answer those, you identify what it is that maybe isn't serving you well at the moment, and that maybe it needs to go in order for you to make time for this, all the things that it's going to take to get you to this real life, the things that are most fulfilling to you. I think it'll be easier to say no. So that is my action step for you for this week, okay? I want you to say no to one thing before next Friday. One thing. Just one thing. If somebody asks you to do something and it's just something you don't want to do, something that's not going to really help you out in any way, or it's actually going to take away from you moving in the right direction, say no to it, okay? Say no to one thing this week, okay? And then, as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be talking about our real life weekly recap, week 5. And just going to leave you with a quote today. You can have it all. You just can't have it all at once. Make your choices. Stand firm. Be that lighthouse. See you soon. Peace.